Okay, guys, here we go. Happy Friday. TGIF. It's Friday. Anyways, when's the last time I did a live? Last week sometime. Can't remember. Anyways, you guys,
Saturday, wasn't it?
I think so. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I can't even remember. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys for joining the live today. I'm just going to be straight up. I never went to sleep at all last night. I was waiting for the article to come out because I knew it was coming out. And so I waited for that. It came out about just after just after six anyway. The one that Allie Thompson was working on from CBC. Some people have already seen it. We're going to say it again, just saying. Anyways, Ken's joining me today. Charmaine, obviously, she just said, no, thank you. Obviously, usually Charmaine can't do daytime ones anyway. She's always too busy for us, right, Kent? And I'm usually too busy too, but
It's
my day
dinner
off.
time here. I don't know what you guys are complaining about.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys, if you guys haven't hit that like and the share, please do so, of course, for the sake of Jack and Lily. And it was a good article. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I skimmed through it really fast this morning when I seen it. My husband was getting up and da. But anyways, I didn't even know that there was a video attached to it until Kent said. And I was like, because Allie told me that it was going on YouTube at 12 o'clock, which is your time. And so the video that's in that article is the same video that went up on CBC. But anyways, nice to see you guys again. Again, it's been a minute. So Kent, just quickly, how you doing? It's been a minute.
Not bad.
Yeah, living the dream.
Living the dream, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Yep.
Yeah. And my twin sister, she moved to Alberta today's Friday, yesterday. I don't even think she messaged me to tell me she's alive and well over there. But anyways, so yeah, I had a lot going on last week for sure. Well, this week, I suppose it's still in this week, isn't it, you guys? Anyways, Ken's been making friends all over this week. I can't say that I've been watching a lot of videos too much. Yeah, just like I said, you guys, I had the 12 to 8 shift. That sucks in itself, but it is what it is. But I had to keep going to my sister's house. She had to put her dog down pretty much the day before she left. And so, yeah, and then I had to go see her the next day and stuff like that. So it's just been very hectic. But anyways, and then I guess we're coming up to a holiday right quick here again, aren't we? What's it called again? I don't know. I always forget what it's called. It's like that, not Indigenous Day, but what's it? Reconciliation. What's it called? Something.
Yeah, Reconciliation Day.
Yeah, on there. So, and then guess what? Yesterday was 3 months to Christmas, but before we jumped the gun, it's Thanksgiving. I guess the United States celebrates it in November, but we celebrate it in October. I still think that I don't know. I just want to ask you guys on this one because I always think that we're smarter because we don't have to spend money back to back, like when you have Thanksgiving. But then by the same token, if it's Thanksgiving, you set yourself up for Christmas pretty much around the Thanksgiving time for them. So it's kind of like, maybe it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. I always just looked at it like, dang, at least there's a break before you have to spend money both times.
Well, it's not that you're spending a lot of money.
Thank you.
Unless you're traveling for Thanksgiving. But I love turkey. But I wouldn't want to be eating turkey the end of November. And again for 3 or 4 days after in sandwiches or hash or whatever. And then get hit right away again with Christmas. I like our break.
Did you see what CB said? I don't think Allie's at CBC painted you or Belinda in a positive light. I think this is before RCMP announces that there is no evidence to be cadaver dogs that are no. It was all a build up until the last minute. I don't think she painted us in a bad light, but let me go listen again.
Well, I think they were looking at they wanted to put out there the pros and cons
Pros and cons.
of social media and YouTube,
Yeah.
because, like you stated, that YouTube used properly can very well, as they say, um, provide credible tips.
Yeah.
But then, if you have nefarious people that just want to control the narrative and or orientation of things, then those type of people could use YouTube and whatever in a bad way, because they're just calling anything and everything into the RCMP, which they're obligated to then do a little bit of investigating on it and taking up resources on false information.
Yeah, you know what? I like a balance because obviously there's to me there's good and bad in everything, right? But I do like the balance. I didn't find it attacking or whatever. It's no different than that. What's his name? Something Mercer guy from Globe and Mail. Um, is that again each to their own, to be honest with you. But all I have to say about that is suck it, butter. Suck it up, buttercup, work, because true crime is not going anywhere. In fact, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. It is the way it is, regardless. But like I said, whatever, there's good and bad in everything. Yeah. And so, yeah. So, I mean, I don't care. The article was fine to me personally.
And as
Yeah.
a creator, I think it gives you the credibility, um, like for them to report
Hmm.
the goods and the bads. Like everybody complains about mainstream media
Yeah.
always being biased or pushing the narrative. I don't find it as much here in Canada as you might out of the States. But if everybody complains about, like, that's nothing new. Everybody's going to find something to complain about every day, because that's how we relieve our frustrations.
Absolutely.
Most of us, we don't go and take it out and punch other people or go and shoot other people for no reason. Like, we just complain about things.
Yeah. Vent, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Well, okay. So I guess let's get into it. Like I said, so I want to say this actually. So of course, I still always want to thank everyone that has spoken out. Obviously, Belinda was the one that I had reached out to about a couple weeks into the case, and she kindly accepted my friend request, and I've always appreciated Belinda and how much she's been a voice for Jack and Lily. And at first Chelsea was there, but she was more in the background. But I see Chelsea's, like I said, speaking out a lot more and stuff like that too. But I just agree though, like is that if certain family members or family members not too much are being voices for Jack and Lily, we have to be their voices for Jack and Lily. Why? Because these two children simply deserve justice. They deserve answers. Um, they deserve truth. And that's the bottom line of it all. But, anyways, so uh, thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate that. Right. I seen that. I've seen that stuff too. Thank you. Belinda Believes. Every time I see Belinda Believes, I instantly go to Belinda. But I still, like I said, want to say, thank you to all the family members, regardless, because honestly, if it's not for chaos sometimes or drama or whatever, cases like this will sadly fall to the wayside when there's nothing really to talk about too much, to be honest with you. It's just the way it is, sadly. It works that way. The more drama, the more people actually keep talking about it. At the end of the day, you know, uh, there's not one person that's following this case, I would think, that just doesn't want answers. It doesn't matter who's involved or how they disappeared. It's about the answers to what happened to Jack and Lily. And of course, right? Um, that's the bottom line of it, first and foremost. So, I mean, obviously, we want the RCMP to solve this case soon and, you know, figure out this muddle of a disaster zone. But I don't think it is to them so much as it seems like it is to us. Do you think so, Kent, on that?
Um, what were you saying? I'm answering
Yeah.
comment.
I know. Well, meaning, obviously, the RCMP know a lot more, regardless.
Oh
Regardless.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Um, but what we see is a disaster of a case, to put it mildly, to be honest with you. This case actually really sickens me for how this has all transpired. And to me, I don't care what anyone says. Daniel and Malaya are the exact reason why this case is the way it is. And for anyone else that knows something or has answers, um, I mean, I would just say simply, shame on you. If you haven't given your, like the full details or anything like that, or somebody's still hiding something. But it turned into a big muddied watered mess because of inconsistencies, because this isn't natural. And that's the bottom line of it. You know, no matter what anyone fears about Daniel or Malaya, if they're guilty of something or not guilty, bottom line with Daniel is that I don't know that Matt man can tell the truth if his life depended on it, honestly. And so it's like reap what you sow. Okay. So don't sit there and woe is me type of thing. No, woe isn't you. Okay. Woe is Jack and Lily. These are the two beautiful children underneath the care of Malaya and Daniel that disappeared. And so it's because of them, whichever way you want to take that, regardless, it's because of them, right? Even if the children, let's just say that the children were outside playing, well, you can definitely tell that in those documents it was 8 o'clock that was reported because they forgot to cover that one up. But we already kind of knew that, right? Because Malay had already messaged Belinda between 8 to 8:30. So, was it that they were covering up their even bigger negligence about how they just let the kids go outside and play with no supervision and stuff like that? You know, we're what? About a week shy of 5 months for Jack and Lily. Yeah. But anyways, okay, let's get into um I guess this article. So for anyone that is new, of course, Jack and Lily disappeared, of course, May 2nd of 2025. Coming up here, October 2nd, will be 5 months. Jack's birthday, I believe it's October 29th, if I'm not mistaken, right near Halloween there. And so, I guess Jack would be 5 years old coming up. Oh, my stupid phone going off there. All right. So, gotta remove that one. So, let's see. Add to stage. Okay. Um, I guess I'll make it bigger, right? Let's see here. Okay. So, um, I don't think Bev knew she was going to be a star on there. So obviously this was a live, with Belinda, the picture that they used. Um, that was a good live. I always love it too when Bev's on. She's such a smart lady. She's well, she just changed jobs, but obviously she was a child protection lawyer and a defense lawyer. Now she's like a crown prosecuting lawyer. And anyways, I just love her to pieces. I think she's great. Let's see here. A number of true crime shows on YouTube have been following the case of Jackie Lily Sullivan. It's a crime and shame, hosted by Sunny Austin. I really feel awkward talking in third person, but whatever. I'm proud of the fact that I just want to say this, that Belinda, see, because I had already mentioned it, um, and then Belinda was talking with Allie because I thought it would be a good idea to show how true crime community can really, help and basically make a difference and stuff like that because it's not this bad space. Some people can make it a bad space for sure, but whatever, right? That's between them and God's ears and lips and whatever, right? So I thought it was awesome when Ali to do this article and to, and then obviously she included, she had interviewed Belinda. Some people kept saying, well, when's Belinda's interview and stuff coming out like that? But anyways, I just think that the true crime community, a lot of people don't know about it. And it's a place that truly can help cases. And for anyone that says differently, you are wrong. You are absolutely wrong. There's so many cases that we could sit here and talk about that have assisted just because, again, everything's about cameras nowadays and footage and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate this article, and I appreciate Belinda for, having Allie, message me and talk to me. So I want to say thank you to both of those people. So Sunny Austin sits in front of a microphone, which I'm doing now, at a small desk. Actually, it's not too bad. In the corner of her bedroom as she settles in to host a live stream centered around two young children who have been missing from Nova Scotia for nearly 5 months. The YouTuber often spends hours a day discussing Jack and Lily with hundreds of people from around the world, their comments popping up on the screen as Austin dissects every aspect of the mysterious case. Some of the comments names stand out: Belinda Gray, Daniel Martell, Darren Geddes. Oh, I may she used his name, to be honest. Let's see here. They are all members of the children's family. YouTubers, true crime community. We can the true crime community. We can sit there and just keep these cases alive. Austin, known on online as Sunny Justice, as a virtual interview from home in Langley, BC. It's really about being a voice for the victims, and that's really the core of everything. Austin's show, It's a Crime and Shame, is one of the many crime shows on YouTube that have been discussing the case of Lily 6 and Jack 4, who vanished from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, on the morning of May 2nd. These types of shows mark an evolution in how people engage in crime and mysteries. It's never before been more into. Oh, Kent, I'm just gonna mute you, bud. Okay, you got some
Yep.
you got some squeaky stuff coming through there. Thank ya. Okay. These type of shows mark an evolution in how people engage with crimes and mysteries. It's never before been more interactive. They create opportunities for those directly involved in the cases to speak their minds. But that comes with both benefits and pitfalls. While police say the discussions can and have led to real world leads, they and other experts also raise ethical concerns and potential reducing people who are already suffering to consumable and often monetized content. I knew she was going to put that in there because she had asked me about that. Okay, and I guess this is okay. I just want to say this, okay, you guys. I have to have a disclaimer on this one. So I was on Zoom, right? Now, I don't know what the puff joy that I swear to God, but this thing made me look like I freaking had the like some sort of weird ass filter on. And I was like, because me and my husband had tested out the Zoom because I don't usually use Zoom, right? So I was sitting there with this green shirt and I had the what's it called? Northern Lights, right? And for whatever reason, without the green scene, it was showing the Northern Lights. Anyways, I look at the filter, bring it down to zero. I'm like, what the heck? So, anyways, you guys can make fun of me. I do not care. All I can say is I don't know what was up with Zoom because it was like someone just, yeah, whatever to that. But whatever, okay? Just go ahead and make fun of me on it because even I'm like going, what the frick is that? Um, Okay, bigger, 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 bigger. Okay, I didn't even, like I said, know this video was in here up until Kent said. I guess I missed it when I was scrolling. All right, so that's Ali, of course. Ali Thompson, CBC.
The case of missing Nova Scotia children, Jack and Lily Sullivan, has become all-consuming for true crime enthusiasts on social media. Experts say there are benefits and pitfalls. While the discussions can and have led to real-world leads for police, there are also ethical concerns in turning people who are already suffering into content.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. I know it's been a minute or so. Ken's joining me today.
Sunny Austin does this multiple times a week, sits for hours in her BC home discussing every aspect of the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan. In the chat, members of their family.
YouTubers, true crime community, different. We can sit there and keep these cases alive and keep pushing them out there and have family members come join, talk if they want to.
Not everything that's discussed on Austin's show is based in truth, and she realizes that. For her, it's about raising the case's profile.
It was really about being a voice for the victims, and that's really the core of everything.
Belinda Gray is Jack and Lily's paternal grandmother. She started watching Austin's show amid a lack of answers. In fact, Gray regularly tunes into more than 10 YouTube shows that are covering the case. She too realizes that online conversations can run amok, but she doesn't care.
To me, the more people that talk about Jack and Lily, the better it is. I don't care who they are. They can state whatever they want that isn't true. I don't care, because people are listening and Jack and Lily's name is still out there.
Sergeant Chris Marshall says some of the 800 tips the RCMP have followed up on were a direct result of the true crime shows that are covering the case. He says in general, these sorts of tips can and have helped move investigations forward.
My experience is that there is a big benefit, but it's like anything, there's risk and reward to anything that we do.
The risk? The tips police know from the outset are false. They are nevertheless required to do their due diligence and fully investigate.
We now have to put investigators on that information, which is taking people away from potentially chasing down actual real leads that are actually based in fact. So that's the complication that can come.
But according to experts, this kind of exposure is a double-edged sword.
I think it's important to remember that every single story that unfolds online, it's real people.
Whitney Phillips says there are major ethical concerns with discussing such cases on platforms like YouTube. Phillips says click-based web engagement is designed to turn world events into commodified content. The attention economy has long driven pop culture and news, in that the most intriguing, shocking, and upsetting information is what people respond to and engage with. But she says that can reduce victims of crime and their families into a consumable product. But Phillips says the attention economy is inescapable. And so it's up to all of us to ponder the ethics of these conversations.
I believe that content producers, including everyday citizens sharing information, have a responsibility of understanding what their digital technologies might not be wanting them to see in terms of the human impact, the human consequences.
Anyways, if you guys haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lily, again, they've been missing since May 2nd of 2025.
Austin says she does make money off her channel through YouTube and donations, but that's not why she's doing it.
So the impact that I know that our channel can have is that we just keep fighting for people to share to the algorithm, to keep the story out there, do it for Jack and Lily because they're missing children.
Ali Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
That's how U.S. President
Yeah, so I was muted, huh? I like to test you guys on that stuff every now and again. You guys know that. If I don't do it at least once alive, that wouldn't be sunny. I see you back, Kent. Okay, Kent. Oh, you're the one who did. I'm just gonna like I said, continue on with the article, guys, and then I'll come back. But I have to be on a different page, okay, guys? All right, make that big again. Okay. Anyways, it's pretty. I guess it's cool, you know. Obviously, um, to bring awareness, well, to the channel, to Jack and Lily's case, to true crime community, stuff like that. I know that there's people always that are going to sit there and try to tear me down, and I'm just going to say this once and again. I have zero care level about those people, like zero. So again, yes, obviously the channel is monetized. Yes, we create YouTube ads, but for people that are have ignorance that people can earn money by YouTube ads, and I'm allowed to do that. I work hard to do that. I've never asked people for donations. Well, like meaning a couple times throughout the entire time I've had a channel, but I don't sit there and go, oh, please donate to me. Please donate to me. People do it because they're kind and they like the channel and whatever. Again, it doesn't matter if you're playing video games. Everyone's that can be monetized is monetized in YouTube. I think that doing true crime is actually one of the best things that people can do. There's a lot of things out there that people can do where you have some people just like myself have a selfless heart. I just care about people, right? It's not my career. I just care about people. But anyways, let's go on with that. And you guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Donna. How are you? Sharon Parker's in the house. Again, Zach's in the house. Zach Jackson. He just put out a video, I believe it was yesterday, on his channel. So you guys just type in Zach Jackson, Jack and Lily. He'll pop right up there. And I know Charmaine put a couple videos. She put out the recordings that I had of Janie that I had done 2 hours and 37 minutes. And then she put out all Daniel's interviews as well on her channel. So please go and support Charmaine. I'll drop links in a minute, guys. Okay, so let me just go back to this article. Okay, so it says Austin started a show 5 years ago after becoming enthralled with the 2020 disappearance of the Suzanne Morphew case in Colorado, whose body wouldn't be found for 3 years. Her husband has been charged in her death for the second time. Sadly, he's out on bail, $3 million bond. Huh, fancy that, Barry Morphew. That man's going to pay his dues, I'm telling you. Going to pay his dues. You want to talk about somebody that you just have to look at them and listen to them and call them a liar? Absolutely. That's the reason why. It's just that they didn't have enough evidence the first time to really stick. So they had to back off so that they could retry for another day. So multiple times a week, Austin returns home from work from a full-time customer service representative in the hospitality industry and sits down at her computer for hours-long live discussions about Jack and Lily. She's sometimes joined by co-host Charmaine Swart of the True Crime Story podcast. Oh, there you go, Charmaine. The siblings were reported missing by their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, who told police that they wandered away from their rural mobile home. But an extensive search of nearby dense woods turned up little evidence apart from a pink blanket. Meanwhile, Brooks Murray and the children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, have been estranged since the day after the disappearance, as rumors continue to swirl online. Austin doesn't pretend to be a journalist. Nope, I don't. But rather an alternative to traditional media, allowing for more open discussions. And she acknowledges not everything said is based on truth. It's called speculation. On September 19th, Austin went live to discuss the announcement that the police would be bringing cadaver dogs as part of the investigation. About halfway through the video, a comment from Martell appears. I should release all the information I brought to major crimes that would point fingers. It's undeniable, and I hold back, wrote Martell. Despite acknowledging that unfounded theories do arise on her show, Austin feels she is helping raise the case's profile. I'm here for the advocacy of the victims. I'm not here for lies and mistruths, said Austin, who has a 28-year-old son. Yeah, Yes, my son's name is Matthew. Matty Bratty. Belinda Gray, the children's paternal grandmother, began watching Austin's videos amid a lack of answers about the case. She wasn't being kept informed by police, as only unnamed family designate receives those updates. In the beginning, it was my only way to get information, Gray said during a recent interview at her home in Muskodabit Valley. As she sits at her kitchen table with which I love that red shirt on you, Belinda, by the way. So I have, you know what? I have a blouse with that exact same arm straps on there. This one has feathers on it. Anyways, love that color on her. As she sits at her table with posters and photos of Jack and Lily pinned on the fridge nearby. She lists off at least 10 true crime shows she regularly monitors on YouTube. Before her grandchildren went missing, she had no idea that that world even existed. She started speaking with Austin over Facebook Messenger early in the investigation, and the two have become friends. Grace sometimes appears as a guest on the show. She says it allows her to dispel hearsay and get her side of the story out there. For example, in the beginning, there were rumors of her son, Cody Sullivan, who was incarcerated in Western Canada. In fact, there is someone else with that name who is facing criminal charges in BC, but it's a coincidence and not her son, which we all know that by now, I would think. Different Cody Sullivan. Love this board that Belinda has on her fridge there. Gray also connected with BC lawyer through Austin's show, who's helping her pro bono explore her legal rights regarding the children. That's Daleen, of course. Her son decided not to be in the children's lives, and when he and Malaya Brooks broke up about 3 years ago, but Gray nevertheless remained involved with Jack and Lily. During visits with their grandmother, Lily often helped her in the garden, and Jack played quietly with his toy dump trucks and tractors. She announced on It's a Crime and Shame that she would be seeking temporary legal guardianship of the children in order to be kept more informed about the case by police and help care for them in the event they are found. Isn't that a great picture? Love that picture on her fridge. I look at YouTube as a great tool. Can it run amok? It sure can. But it is a great tool if you use it the right way, said Gray, who has been saying for months she doesn't believe the children are alive. To me, the more people that talk about Jack and Lily, the better it is. I don't care who they are. They can state whatever they want that isn't true. I don't care because people are listening and Jack and Lily's names are still out there. Online true crime shows and social media in general often bring an influx of tips to the police. In this investigation, investigators have been following up to 800 tips, some of which were submitted as a direct result of the true crime shows that are covering the case, Nova Scotia RCMP confirmed. Sergeant Chris Marshall, commander of the Southwest Nova Major Crime Unit, said, generally speaking, these sorts of tips can and have helped move investigations forward. See, there's some positive stuff. He said social media does help bring cases in the front of new audience who may have pertinent information. For example, he said police once became aware of someone involved in a case that was not previously known to investigators. He said, my experience is that there is a big benefit, but it's like anything. There's risk and reward to anything that we do, said Marshall, who is not directly involved in Jack and Lily's case. But there are downsides. Sometimes tips are simple, not factual, and police might know this from the outset, but they are required to do their due diligence and investigate it fully, which ties up police resources, said Marshall. We now have to put investigators on that information, which is taking people away from potentially chasing down actual real leads that are actually, based in fact, he said. Marshall also said that while some information being shared online is factual, it can sometimes get clouded with misinformation and give undue credence to rumors and theories. The difficulty becomes when people take everything that comes out as these are proven fact. when often there's very little that's done to actually prove that if any information is actually factual, he said. Whitney Phillips, an associate professor of information politics and media ethics at the University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon, said that there are major ethical issues with discussing such cases on platforms like YouTube. Whatever, Whitney Phillips. Police said click-based web engagement is designed to flatten real-world events, including trauma and human suffering, into commodified content. She said that the attention economy has long driven popular culture and news, and that the most intriguing, shocking, upsetting information is what people respond to and engage with. Well, that is true. But that can reduce victims of crime and their families to a consumable product. I think it's important to remember that every single story that unfolds online, it's real people, Phillips said in a recent interview. But our online systems and the attention economy incentivize it, so they were not always thinking about the actual people. Okay, 1 second, I just need a drink. That's Whitney. All right, Whitney. I'll look past you. She said there is also issues around consent. Families might initially agree to discuss the case online, but that can change. And at that point, their story essentially belongs to the internet. With all that said, the attention economy is inescapable, said Phillips. That's why content creators have a responsibility to understand these dynamics and consciously make choices that prioritize considerations over engagement. So just caring about the outcome is not actually enough to guarantee a positive outcome for all people involved. That is one of the trickery elements of the attention economy. It doesn't care about your motives, she said. I believe that the content producers, including everyday citizens, share information, have a responsibility of the, oh my God, this bitch is boring me. I'm sorry. Have a responsibility of understanding what the digital technologies might not be wanting them to see in the terms of a human impact and human consequences. Sitting next to, nope, that one doesn't have it. Shit. Sitting next to a painting of the two children on her wall, Austin concedes that this case has stretched her beyond what she normally commits to her YouTube show. She admits that she does make money off her channel through YouTube and donations, but that's not why she's doing it. We just keep fighting for people to share the algorithm and keep the story out there. And Austin, and we do it for Jack and Lily. And this is, of course, Allie Thompson. So let's just read. Allie Thompson is an award-winning journalist based in Halifax who loves helping the people of her home province tell their stories. She's particularly interested in issues surrounding women's health, justice, education, and the entertainment industry. All right. You can email her with tips. All right. Okay. Let's see here. We'll go back to this picture here. Okay. Word. I was can't unmute yourself. Good morning, everybody. Again, I was on a different page, so I really couldn't see what you guys were saying in chat till now, to be honest with you. Kent, what are you doing? Not only were you late for the show, now you don't know how to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you from my side. All right, we'll just pretend like Kent isn't here then. Are they still searching the dogs? Yeah. Sunny and Kent, can you send me a link to that, please? Yeah, I can post the link, of course. Copy. Paste. Well, that's a long link. Dang, did it fit? The news clip.
Oh, look at that. I figured how to back out of comments without.
Oh, did you do it? Okay. Missy. Well, first of all, it's truly none of your business. But if you want to know, usually it pays for all my bills that I have with regards to the video makers and all the different things that I purchase myself, which is usually a few $100s a month. If I was to add it all up, do I donate to cases? I can't say that I donate to cases, but like I donated to Jack and Lily and stuff like that. I think I do a lot, and I don't really think that I have to explain to anyone, to be honest with you. I don't ask people for money. People donate. Do I make a lot of money off YouTube? Absolutely not. I don't. I'm a small channel. Maybe when I get big one day, I will. But again, so I'm just gonna only because I really hate it when people talk about money. I'm not a money person, right? Even in my real life, I don't like talking about money because I think it's so secondary to the importance. But so I'm gonna say really that none your business. And I do with my money what I want, pay the bills and stuff like that, right? Like I said, I don't sit here asking people to donate to the channel. I don't know why. And no offense, Missy, but I really find it ignorant when people are asking what somebody else is doing with their money. You know,
I
it's
would just like to say thank you to Sunny because she has contributed money to
oh,
Jack and Lily's sign campaign.
yeah, 100
So
bucks. I bought you some fish and chips on there.
yes, so
Yeah.
she has allowed us to put signs out in
And you,
locations that have high traffic.
I just, I guess my pet peeve here is this, with this whole thing, only the ignorance of people, in general will always say, she's just in it for the money. She's just in it for the money and stuff like that. Right. Because they got nothing. It's like, you might as well just say, hey, fat lady. And as if that's going to bug me. No, it's not. Because I don't care. But when people keep acting like people are making money off the missing and the murdered, I you got that's so ignorant. People make money off of all different types of things in the world wide web of YouTube. And I just think that here we have a space where I know from my heart, and I don't care what anyone thinks, I know that I've always done everything from my heart in my entire life. I've never been money motivated. And if I was, you would constantly see me asking for donations if I truly cared about money so much. I work full time. My husband works full time. It's a passion. But I just I just find it so tactless when people, that's like me asking you, Missy. I'm like, well, what do you do with your money? Right? Like it's I don't consider this a job. I consider it a hobby, I guess, a passion on there. Actually, I'm not gonna even
And I have no idea what she makes, but I would think that I'm probably somewhat correct in making the statement that all the time and hours that
oh
Sunny
my
put
god.
in talking about the case, you can probably say that she's earning pennies on the hour.
I was well, maybe a few dollars sometimes. But no, like I said, not some money bags doing it. I don't do this for the income of donations. I do it because YouTube pays for ads. And if you would be a moron, a complete moron, if you didn't do and monetize your channels to get YouTube ad revenue, right? Like I
And what
said,
do you think the TV stations are doing when they
well,
sell
I was
commercials?
gonna say, and I'm just gonna, because I really do hate talking about money, but I'm just gonna say, for all those people that ever want to beak off about freaking YouTubers making money in the true crime community, heaven forbid, go talk to the news and tell them the same thing. You know what? Your article, you're making money off that, right? It's so stupid and it's so ignorant, and I just find that it does irk me because of the stupidity of it all. Not saying you're stupid, Missy, but I really think that you should really just shouldn't ask people that stuff. Really, it's none of your business and stuff.
Well, anybody who has ever tried and owns a business and has ever tried to
Here's
buy
my-
any TV or radio advertising can
Wow.
attest to the fact that during their most popular programs and or news hours is the most expensive time slots for advertising.
A group. Well, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's ignorance to people that say stuff like that. So I just don't, buy into that crap. It's just people that want to be nosy or attack you and stuff like that. And I just don't care. Sonny, do you know where the dogs ever Kent? You probably have a better answer for Zach than that, than I do. I know, of course, they've searched the property, but go ahead. You probably know more than I do on that.
I've answered it in the chat. The only place that we have confirmation of the dog's ban is the blanket site and the property, the immediate property. I can suspect in my own mind and speculate because I had about 10 different locations and about 10 different vehicles that I hope through their process that they take them to or through. But have they been there or are they looking at going there? I have no idea. But if they're investigating the way that we think they are and as meticulous as we think they are, I bet you I could name, like I say, 8 to 10 locations where they would want to take these dogs, and probably 8 to 10 vehicles.
Thank you, Ken. Wait, Travis, did you just literally say that? Travis, did you just come in now? He's like,
No, he was there for a bit.
Why is there no big photo of Sunny in the article? Did you not pay attention? It's like right here. I don't know if they could put it any bigger. Did you miss that part, Travis? Anyways,
Eclipse. I want to address the Eclipse comment coming up. Why did supposedly was? Where did you send it? Stop moving it on me.
Well, I don't know where it is.
I don't know, but it says, why did supposedly the dog handlers tell Janie the dogs were not cadaver dogs? That's not what was said at all. What was said is Janie asked the cadaver dog handlers if they needed a piece of clothing to search from, because when she did it in May for the canine unit dogs, then the canine unit dogs didn't need it. Because the canine unit, and when I say canine, that I'm talking about RCMP unit dogs, they are what's called air sniffers, and they're looking for they're looking for a different smell. They're not necessarily given a piece of clothing from the kids and then sniff for that. That's not what they do. They sniff for their surroundings in the air, and they're looking for a different smell than what is there right now, and then they track that. So that's what she had asked the cadaver dogs, because she couldn't understand the dogs that were here in May, how they were searching if they didn't need a piece of clothing to get Jack and Lily smell off of. So it's not that the cadaver dogs, and the cadaver dogs, the RCMP also calls them human remains detection dogs. They don't call them. Now, I know this is all technical jargon of what the RCMP use, but that's what they use. And what they smell is the decomposition of dead bodies, which happens about 20 minutes to beyond the point of when your heart stops. As soon as that happens, your body starts breaking down inside. And that's what these HRD dogs detect. And if they get in within a range of scent of the decomposition, then they alert. Once they get to the strongest point that has the smell, they alert their handler by sitting or laying down or whatever it is. And then it's up to the handler, if they're underground or anything like that, if they're not exposed to the open, to actually see the evidence that the dog is alerted on. And that point will happen from the time that you're, like I say, about 20 minutes after your heart stops in your body. And from what they told us, if you haven't seen the RCMP presser from last Friday, Sonny has a video on it. Charmaine has a video on it. Other creators have videos on it.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you very
Thank you, Alice.
specific information on the HRD dogs, how they work, and how they were going to approach this case. It's not an update on this case. I think they do get one or two questions squeezed in there that in relation to the case that they do answer, but it's not an update on the case. It's an update on the procedures and abilities of the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kent. I'm just trying to look at the comments here. That troll's in the house again. I think her name's Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine, I know what you mean. I loved in the U.S. many years ago, and I was shocked at the high number of adverts and billboards. Yeah, wonder why Canada doesn't allow this. Well, we have billboards, right, Kent? I know people
Yep.
were looking into it from the private group there.
Yeah, Crime Stoppers has one that there's members in our group that are trying to make contact to see that they dedicate to missing persons in the city of Halifax. We don't have billboards across the province, no. But I think if you're in the larger centers like Toronto, Montreal, there's probably a lot more billboards available. The billboards that we checked into privately, like privately run business that have digital billboards up, they can run anywhere from 2,000 up per month because they're making money off it, right? That's how they help pay their rent and everything else. So
Bear with me for a sec, Kent. I'm just looking for something, but go on with your bad self.
yeah. Yeah, no, billboards aren't free, but like I say, the Crime Stoppers does have a free one in Halifax. We're just having a hard time trying to find the actual manager person of it. We've been given a couple of phone numbers. Different people have been given a couple of phone numbers now. And whether we're getting numbers translated wrong or what, but the phone numbers we're calling are coming up unlisted. So if anybody knows the actual contact, we've left messages on their website. We haven't gotten anything back. So yeah, Lori Allen, I would say there's probably one or two in Moncton area, probably St. John or Fredericton as well. But yeah, The only ones that I know of in Nova Scotia would probably be Halifax. And I would say probably Sydney now. Maybe have a one or two, but
Sorry about that. Just was looking for. Hey, Daphne. How are you? Hey, guys. Oh, if you guys haven't hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do so. Again, for Jack and Lily. Simple as that. Thank you, guys.
good
Watch
to
it.
see you here, Daphne. I don't know if you noticed the comment that I left for you yesterday on your video. I know you were trying hard to find a particular Circle K, but a lot of people refer to Irving garages. So the one in Alma, it's actually located within the Westville town limits. It's on exit 21 at Cowan Street. But I left that information in a comment on your video that when you were looking for it, trying to find your missed time.
Just 1 second here. Now, Kent and you guys in chat. Do you guys think that anything's going to come of this first search that's going on? What about you, Kent? What about you guys in chat? You guys think anything's going to come of this?
I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Like,
True. I wish that they would tell us.
And don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying this to be mean or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I see since they brought the dogs in, I see everybody commenting that they hope the dogs will find something or alert, so then the officers can find something. I know it doesn't help move along the investigation where we're at, but I hope the dogs don't alert. If you're hoping for the children to be alive, and it doesn't matter for a cleanup, as long as the dogs were present at one time when decomposition had started, whether you've tried to clean it up or not, the dogs will pick up the smell of the decomp. Unless they're in like a sealed container or a sealed bag. Like, that's information, and that's not me stating that. That's coming right from the RCMP presser. But they have to get the dogs within a range, and I don't know if it's 5 feet, 10 feet. It all depends on a whole bunch of factors.
Yeah.
But really, either I hope the dogs find their bodies, or they don't hit at all. Because if they hit somewhere, and okay, that tells us that yes, there was decomposition in the area where they're at. It still doesn't mean that it's Jack or Lily's. And it means that we're probably going to have the worst case as a result. And I know there's a lot of people, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm still hoping there's a chance.
Oh, my freaking, it must be 9. Oh yeah, 9 o'clock. Look at it. I look like I'm freaking got stripes and stuff going through my face. Try to sit. Coming over there. Sorry about that. I'll just quickly answer Daphne. Yeah, I'm. You know what? Now that you say that, I actually remember that. As a matter of fact, that I was thinking the same thing as you. So was Daniel just referencing, like, obviously they were on camera, but yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? It would go with the hundreds of other inconsistencies that there are, that he said anyway. So, to be honest with you, there was something Clutch Them Pearl said yesterday. And, I just caught him for a couple of minutes there last night. But Danielle said, okay, so I want to make this loud and clear. Again, regardless of any guilt to Jack and Lily, Daniel, to me, I don't buy any of his shit, regardless, at all. Okay? He's a freaking liar, is what he is. He doesn't know how to tell the truth if his life depended on it. And there's no one that's going to even make me believe that this man is truthful. When you mix too many lies and mistruths with actual factual information, I can't trust this person as far as I could throw him at all. Okay? There's nothing that's going to change my mind about that. I don't even pay attention, to be honest with you, what he's doing now, because I've already deemed that this man is not truthful. So why would I believe a lickety shit out of anything that he says at all? He's proven himself that he's so, and I'm just going to prove my point in this video yet again, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. He can sell, ice to the Eskimos, but he's not going to sell his shit to Sunny. I'm telling you that right now. Sorry. I ain't buying this whole add-on all information. Whoops, coming right through there. And even if you guys listen to his polygraph test interview, he literally was asked 4 questions. And those all revolved around the death. Did you murder Jack and Lily? Were you whatever? 4 questions. She asked him. Was there any questions about anything else? About the disappearance? He said no. 4 questions. Maybe they should reverse Malaya's and Daniel's questions to each other, to be honest with you, on this one. So this whole, he passed a polygraph test of 4 questions. He was literally asked 4 questions. Same with Malaya, right? So I'm sorry. Great. So you were truthful on some of those answers, but you were only asked 4 questions. And maybe there is something alternative to that. Who knows? Don't know. Time will tell. In this case, all I know is that there's nothing that he can say to make a difference to me at any point right now, because he's so mistruthful. Sorry. Again, I don't feel like I was born yesterday. I mean, you guys can smell it, can't you? Right? This is the whole ridiculous part of this. Someone that's totally sitting there, bunch of inconsistencies. But anyways, Clutch and Pearl said, well, Daniel said he used his cell phone to look in the culverts, and all that stuff. Great. But you said you left your cell phone at home as well. So what do you mean? Right? Would that be one of 2 of your burner phones? Is that what you were using? But so like I said, it's just, so you said you left your phone at home, but yet you said you're using it for a flashlight. Now, so what story are you going to add to that now to make it fit? All right. But I want to play this interview again, guys, quickly. Sorry, Sunny, do you know if that's true that Daniel helped search because the handler was too big to get under? Well, I mean, that's what he said, and I mean, again, pick your lies, pick your battles, who honestly cares, to be honest with you? He could have.
But it's the dog that's searching. I believe all Daniel did was shine some light in so the dog could see where he was going. They don't take them and drag them around the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get to an area and their starting point, they'll let them, they have long leashes and they'll let them go and see if they get a scent to pick up and then alert on. And that's what I say, if they are in the woods, if you look at it, folks, with these dogs, okay, they should be able, in my opinion, to do a grid search of the open property that would be a foot up, a foot down, a foot up, a foot down, a foot up, a foot down. So if the dogs don't alert on the property, that doesn't mean that they weren't deceased when they left the property. That just means that if something happened, they could have been 5 miles down the road before the process started that the dogs alert on. And that's the problem in the woods. These dogs, they'll take them to areas in the woods and they will see if, but the dog isn't going to be able to go 5 feet in one direction that it may need to get to be within range to be able to smell the decomp. And that's why I say that, but like there's enough stuff that's already been through the woods within the search area. Could they be outside the search area? Most definitely. But within, if you put up a wall of the original search and where the searchers, the ground searchers, and the helicopters and the drones, if you put a wall up around that area, and if these kids, if something happened to them that they are deceased, I would bet more on that they're outside of that search area than if they're inside the search area. But that's my own belief. I believe that we have enough evidence between satellite technology, helicopters, drones, ground search and rescuers, and the search dogs, that if they were inside that search area, we'd know where they were by now.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I'm just going to say this because this is just one of these side thoughts that I had. Okay, and I said this to Kent and Charmaine, and you guys can, you know, laugh at me all you want, but I always remember that sentence when Daniel said, it's like there's no magic in the air. No magic. First of all, who the hell says that when 2 kids are missing? Yeah, I can't just say, you know, the kids aren't around. There's just no magic in the air. Really? It's just a weird statement. Anyways, so then I was watching Shell, the tarot spirit reader, Shell Spirit Tarot, and she was talking about this park or whatever, like this place that was doesn't seem to be used. And I couldn't help but think, you guys, of Magic Valley amusement park that's closed down. So I'm just going to put this out there. Okay. Dog searchers, just go sniff around there. Okay. Because there's no magic in the air. And then there's that place called Magic Valley. But when she was talking about it, I'm just sitting there going, maybe that's it. It's 13 minutes away by vehicle. The trips were approximately 25 minutes in between at night. I'm just still thinking, right? Got to still think about everything. But that was my latest thought on that one a little bit. Okay. It's just, there's things that man has said that are so strange. Like he's going to continue looking for them for a lifetime. Well, we didn't know that it was going to be a lifetime. We didn't know if it was going to be 2 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 5 months, and all that. But Travis had asked something. Can you? He's asking something about the blanket, I believe it was. What?
Yeah, he said there might be misconception that the dogs were around the blanket area, but not necessarily the blanket. And I said yes, because the blanket has been sent to Ontario for forensic DNA testing, and we don't know if it's back yet or not. That information was in the documents.
Yeah. If they are not living, all this reminds me of, like, honestly, when it comes to, like, I'm just calling it how I see it. They always say that a lot of times someone involved inserts themselves, like when they light a fire on a house and then they sit there and go, oh my God, I can't believe it. But they try to really involve themselves. You know what? I want to watch this video first because on there. So we'll come back in a second. Okay. And I want to play this first. And you guys have seen it, but you know what? 10 times the charm, 20 times the charm on this one. This one's where I think this is the first time Daniel says, and okay, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time, besides Daniel making comments like, there's more to this than meets the eye. This is his first time he said, I believe that they're alive, right? For like 100%, but like it's the first time he actually said this on the news.
Yes, I believe so. That's why he makes that statement that
right.
He's 100% sure they won't be found in the woods.
Right. Now, you guys, again, I was not born yesterday. When I heard him say that, okay, this is my opinion myself. That's no different when he's trying to freaking say stuff to Malaya through cryptic shit, right? On his interviews and stuff like that, right? Meet me at the waterfall. That was in the Charmaine text, but I'm talking about, can people just stop, with Malaya? I mean, it says the number one person that puts her down, right? Number one person that actually puts Malaya down is that man that's literally on the screen right there. But all I took that for was when he said that was, that's it. Go ahead, Daniel. You guys just keep building up your audience to believe you and everything, right? Right. To me, that's exactly why he said it. Because how many times has he been accused of not saying something like Malaya said about him? He has a different story online than he does to the news. Now, this is just to me one of these things of him, right, trying to shine his shit. But in my eyes, there's no shit you can shine that would glorify you. You're not no freaking gold bar. You don't have no gold standard timeline and stuff like that. Now, I'm not trying to be hard on Daniel. I just can't stand a liar that constantly lies. It's irritating. It's annoying when 2 children are missing and this is what's going on. And then start inserting well, now I can explain this. Yeah, 5 months later, nah. How about you should have explained yourself. You had multiple opportunities, Daniel, to fix any errors in things that you said, and you chose not to. You're a game player, dude. I got your number. I ain't buying what you're trying to sell. Never will. Again, if you have no involvement in Jack and Lily's disappearance, either way, still, you're not a good person. You are not a good person, because anyone that sits there and has so many mysteries during the two missing children investigation, and this is how you act, and that's what you're saying, and you guys want it twisted. I'm sorry, there's no victim here. The victims are Jack and Lily. What you portrayed to the internet, you came here to this community, and you're the one that did all this popping in and out and talking. There's nobody to blame but yourself for why people do not believe you. Daniel, if you actually would have shut your mouth right from the start and not said a whole lot and just stayed on course, right? That would have been probably a whole different view of you. But because you're just so relentless, and the thing is that you're not relentless in this pursuit for justice for Lily and Jack. You guys are relentless to me, about your own appearance and you trying to sell us this crock of shit all the time. And I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. I don't care if you had nothing to do. You still talk a bunch of BS. You don't know the truth if it hits you in the ass. And I'm just going to prove it to you again in this video. All right. All right.
Won't find anything?
I know for 100% they won't find anything.
100%.
So what do you make of the fact that they are bringing the cadaver dogs in?
Well, I'm actually pretty happy about that, because it's been about 3 months. I've been asking for them, and it's just been delayed, I guess, till now. But I know things take time, and dogs are hard to get.
So what does this say to you? Because I mean, they are dogs searching for human remains.
Well, I know that it's going to be really hard work now that there's so much vegetation in the woods, but I'm pretty happy that they're going to be able to do it. I even hope that they bring more than one dog if they have access to more than one dog.
So what are you happy about? What do you hope this will bring?
I would just like to see maybe the social media speculation theories and accusations, maybe they're not going to stop, but slow down, because at this point they're getting ridiculous.
So are you thinking that the dogs will go in there and won't find anything?
I know for 100% they won't find anything. I mean, that's probably why they waited this long to do it. It's just to keep the public informed, I guess, that they're hard at work.
Do you think it will rule things out?
Yeah, I think we'll rule a lot of things out. Rule out that the RCMP are, working hard, and there's no human remains on the property.
Is there any piece of you that's preparing for the fact, like, what if they do find something?
No, because I didn't do anything. I know Malaya didn't do anything. I know my mother didn't do anything. Those are three.
Oh. Okay. I know I didn't do anything. I know Malaya didn't do anything. Now, I'm only going to show you a few, but let's just revisit that, Daniel. And first of all, you said she was the abuser. I still have that. I have tons of your messages on this one, but that's the part I wanted to point out. So let's just refresh Daniel's memory about this, because obviously Malaya didn't have anything to do with it, and he didn't. But this is just another one of his multiple lies. Okay, so hold on a second. And like I said, I got a lot more than this that are actually more even finger pointing at Malaya all the time. And this is the bottom line, right? We want to find out what happened to Jack and Lily, but how are we going to do that, right? Because I'm not buying this BS. I'm not buying these 4 questions that you were asked on one specific thing. Like I said, maybe reverse the questions and ask them each differently on this one. Because again, this is so absurd to me. When people are genuine, when you're totally genuine, you can feel it when somebody is begging and pleading for the sake of Jack and Lily. All we keep hearing about is, well, bring on the cadaver dogs, blah, blah, blah. And then he basically disses the RCMP there. Like, I guess, just to prove that they're hard at work, and then he tries to say that again. And it's like, dude, like I said, this to me is him saying to all you guys and obviously the news that no, the kids are alive. Yeah. Oh, Malaya has nothing to do with that. Oh, wait, Malaya's family and Malaya took them. They planted that blanket. They planted those boats. They planted those shirts. They did all this. Does he forget? Does he have, seriously, amnesia, brain, how do you say that? Brain amnesia or something like that? Seriously going on? How does one keep consistently bullshitting at the sake of and the expense of Jack and Lily? Like, you know what it is? It's just someone that's, to me, a narcissist. Narcissist, sociopath. And he just believes his own stuff. And I believe that he believes it. Like, I truly believe that he actually believes in his lies. But okay. Remember, I mean, this is the man that almost lost his life 2 times, guys, and that the world would never know. But hold on 1 second. I got 3 here, but let's pull up this one first. Okay. Well, let's see. There's a couple here. Okay. Can you please tell us, Daniel, what you believe Lily and Jack were wearing? And he says, and then he's talking about his shirts. I wore both during the search, navy blue one night, first night, and the white one the second night. These are the shirts that Malaya took with her now, because now he doesn't believe that she planted them. Now he believes that she took them for, like scratch and sniff. Oh, Daniel, miss you so much. Oh yeah. Blue today, white tomorrow. Maybe I'll just on Wednesday, I'll mix them both together. Oh God, Daniel, I miss you so much. Right. And maybe for all we know that they are talking, for all we know. And I kind of believe that they actually are, to be honest with you. I don't believe in this, that they're not talking. Darren actually made a comment to the fact that they were speaking. I remember that. Now it says, I can't tell you. Okay, that's well. I can't tell you because it's part of the investigation. How many times does he say that? Okay. It's so old now. Just like you're sorry. I tell the truth always. On the clothes they wore, right? Now we can't tell us. Ixnay on telling us on what the kids actually wore. Isn't that? Go back to your statements, Daniel. Go back to yours and Malaya's statements. Pretty sure you guys already said what they were wearing. Yeah, the kids. Okay. Now, this is just one of the minor finger pointings. It was normal days for me, but she had different plans. Right. Remember? So Malaya had nothing to do with it, but it was normal days for me, but she had different plans. Nope. No pointing fingers at Malaya right there. They don't have on what we think they had on. I'll leave it there. I'm playing with fire, speaking about this. Like, come on. Okay. Now, like I said, I literally have tons more messages of literally Daniel pointing the finger right at Malaya. Well, we all know who planted the blanket, didn't we? Okay, but hold on. All right. Just my turn, Kent. No, I don't want to add to stage. I want to remove from studio. Add another one. Image file. What does this one say? I think I did that one. Is this different? Oh, right. Laundry. Oh, right. Laundry, people. But anyways, she doesn't want them only Meadow. She doesn't want them, right? She doesn't want Lily and Jack. No. Malaya. But she took them, right? She doesn't want them, but she took them. She hid them. It's crazy. Okay? Crazy. Daniel, was Malaya around your kids? My kids, yes, right? He has 2 kids, obviously. Great with mine. Her Barbie top. People are talking about the Barbie top and stuff like that. So Barbie top is here at my place. Guess what, you guys? Hi, Leanne. Thank you. Guess what? I have, and then this is months later, okay? I don't care. I'm not making excuses for his bullcrap of now trying to sell us that Malaya left all her clothes at Patty's house because he said, and this was only a couple months ago, right? Like out of the 5 months, this was only a couple months ago, if that. Probably about a couple months ago. I have everything the kids own and all Malaya's belongings as well. Okay? So is that the truth or is that a lie? Because now you're trying to represent that Malaya was preparing to leave you and, take the kids away, right? Nothing took except for 2 of my shirts she stole. Now, this is months later, people, and he's trying to sell it like, well, you know what? Let me just add, a little insert there that, you know what? That laundry day, the Wednesday that Malaya can't remember leeching off of her grandmother Patty for freaking money all day and sitting there doing her laundry the day that Malaya can't remember that Wednesday. Well, again, she said she brought the clothes home. She was too tired, from that day or whatever, and didn't feel like putting them away. Okay. I get that. You obviously had a busy day, right? Obviously. But this is months later, and Daniel's trying to insert that all of Malaya's clothes were left at Patty's house pretty much. We loaded up 6 bags of Jack and Lily's, but nothing of Malaya's. That's not what you said. Only a couple months ago, dude. Again, right? Like how many times? So when people go, like, oh, that Daniel, no, the man cannot tell the truth regardless. Like, it's so amazing that people make excuses for online behavior versus real life behavior. You don't think that when you meet you have one of those bullshitter friends that you just know is a bullshitter in a sense, usually you get rid of those ones. And every once in a while, you're just like, I know he's a bullshitter, so that's kind of, I had a friend like that. Absolutely. Made promises he could never keep. He was so full of it. He was so full of himself all the time. But he was a good guy, actually. But he always had to represent. He always had to, put out like he was just, always helpful and always doing this. And thing is that, like I said, he was larger than life himself. But anyways, so nothing took except for those navy shirt and the blue shirt, right? Now, you guys have to remember as well that, okay, going back to it, Daniel denied the blanket at the start. He denied the water bottle, and he denied the clothing that was there. Oops. Then he remembers. You know what? I guess that is Lily's. You know what? I guess that water bottle that I talked about, I guess it is mine. Why would you literally? Now, the reason why he said that at first, because he was trying to protect Malaya. That was the original reason, is that he was trying to protect Malaya because he obviously knew that Malaya had hidden these kids, right? So again, for people just coming into the case and learning about it, you got a lot of catching up to do. I'm telling you that right now. For all the things that Daniel has said in over the course of 5 months long, okay? Again, let's just put the list of truth and lies or mistruths and stuff like that. You know, you got to give certain things a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. But anyways, one more. Oh, wait, the clothes were worn, whatever that was, that morning by whom, whatever that meant. Anyways, I got lots more, but I'm just only going to show you one more. See what this one. Oh, right. I remember the next one. I believe I remember the next one. Image file. I think it's this one. Nope. That's not the one. Wait. 1 second. Just got to make sure I didn't accidentally download one twice. Oh, I think I did. Yeah, I can see the same thing. Hold on. I'm here. I'm here for you people. Where is it? Yes. This one. Yeah. You doing okay over there, Kent?
Fine.
Okay. Just going on my rant here for a sec still. Sorry, it's been a week, all right? Okay. Let's remember this one. Okay? Okay, remember? She will go as long as she can, but will crack after her mental health is put to the test with exams. I'm saying too much. She's going to crack. She's going to talk, man. She's going to tell us where those kids are, right? Right? You're going to tell us any day now, right? Right, Malaya? You're going to crack. I believe they're alive, and Malaya knows who drove them off the property. I told you, I didn't have anything to do with it. Malaya didn't have anything to do with it, and his mama had nothing to do with it. Okay, but we can leave Janie out of this, okay? Because we're talking about two people, regardless, that were in charge of Jack and Lily that morning, and it wasn't Janie. It was Daniel and Malaya. Okay, Malaya will crack soon, people, right? Not one person in the family speaks to bring the kids home. Well, I mean, honestly, it's a two-way, it's a two-sided coin there, to be honest with you. I mean, Daniel, he advocates mostly for himself, but he does bring awareness, okay? By doing the stuff that he does, he creates people to want to dig into him, to look at everything, you know. I mean, honestly, if I could be a fly on the wall, that would have been great. But I mean, his antics do bring awareness. I'll say that. No one knew it. It started after Meadow was born. That's the postpartum depression. Okay. She also said the kids are in the woods. Stupid me believed that. And I searched and searched. Well, I'm pretty sure, you know, your mom came out and asked what happened to the kids. And, you know, you said that you were going to go check the woods. At no point did you guys ever say Malaya said that they were in the woods up until these type of things here, right? They can't. Well, I mean, she did message Belinda, you know, and say about the woods, but that was like in the afternoon. They can't. I mean, she said a few things. They can't. About that she believes that they were picked up, or that some people think that they were picked up and whatever.
Yeah, she said multiple theories right in her only statement.
She did.
I would say there was probably 3.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. She also said the kids are in the woods. Okay. They can't. Then the kids would be moved to a different location, right? So, like I said, so like, are him and Malaya talking, right? Like, this is can you guys tell me your thoughts on this, Kent? Because like, besides this whole case being a warped M fuck right in the head, um, tell me this. You know, he literally always is saying like, I'm gonna stop attacking Malaya now. Well, dude, it was too late. Okay, you attacked her plenty. In fact, you are the worst culprit, like I said, of attacking Malaya. But I had nothing to do with this. Malaya had nothing to do with this. It's an absolute lie. Who are you? Are you sucking up to Malaya because you talked to her? Or are you just sucking up to her? Because you know what? I got to protect Malaya still. I still love that girl. It doesn't matter. Because for all we know, the two of them are in cahoots together. For all we know, we don't know. We don't know the truth of anything, to be honest with you. Definitely not in the woods, if you ask me. Such a small, slim chance. Stranger abduction, right? I mean, go back to Janie, right? So Janie says, definitely not. I've lived here for 26 years. Ain't no vehicle. I say so too. There's a 1% chance. We already know that from facts, right? 1 to 2% chance. And then in the woods, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle if they're ever found in the woods. Is there a higher probability of that? Huh. I don't know. They're both tied at the bottom to me. So obviously, Janie says, right? My son has never not done anything to the children. So where does that leave you? It leaves you back to the story that they all have, that Malaya has the children hidden. But my question in my head is, if Daniel and Malaya know what happened to the children, why is he outright blaming her for saying that they're hidden? And then, basically, acting like a lovesick puppy, like, Malaya didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Do you believe that they're talking, Kent? Because Darren did make that comment that they were at one point, for sure. I remember that.
They might have been like the week afterwards. Are they talking now?
Yeah.
I would say not, in my own mind, just because they would think, they might think that they'd be able to get away with it as far as talking, because the RCMP gave their phones back to them.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the phones that the RCMP had and gave back, I'd be very goddamn well limited. What I would do with that phone. Because whether they're getting it in real time or after the fact, the possibility is that they'd be getting every bit of information that was on that phone.
Which phone? His real phone or the burner?
Well, they're real phones, the ones that they gave to the RCMP to dump.
Now, why is it that they gave? I mean, wasn't it like a couple weeks later, Kent, that they got the phones? I'm kind of confused
No,
about
I
that.
think it was like a couple weeks later when they actually had the wants to retrieve the information, like to
Right.
right,
Well,
like, you know what I mean. It's not, they gave the phones, as far as I understand, they gave the phones up, like they didn't get them like that weekend, but like say Monday, after Monday, when they searched for 4 days, I would say one of the first things that they probably produced a warrant for, even though they were both offered, they would get a warrant, because if they were to find anything on there, ordinary to be able to use that information in court, they have the processes to follow, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is after they gave those phones back, not necessarily that they would have listening devices on those phones, but I would think that they would have trackers or at least the IP numbers so that they could check cell towers and see where those phones were hitting and track them that way. I would think, like for as little information as they seem to have in public, but they're not going to say that, right? Because the first thing you know is, well, somebody loses that phone down over the bridge and they have a new one. But yes, people, Dylan Nealer's case was dealt with by Truro Town Police, not RCMP. So, and that's a totally different case. I think what happened there is totally a possibility. But
Mhm. Sorry, just looking at something.
yeah,
on
me too.
there.
I'm just scrolling up.
Yeah, I was just looking. Just go ahead and see if what chat's saying there. One second here. Can't believe he said no violence ever. Malaya used to hit me. I literally have that text or that message. Like, come on, narcissist. Well, who knows? Maybe it was a two-way thing. Anyways, well, whatever. I'll look for that stuff later.
But yeah, no, I honestly, I don't think that they're communicating now because, well, the way that Daniel talks, he's not coming out and saying different stuff like as critical as he has in the past. Like that last interview with CBC, like it seems like he wanted to say some more, but he just came out and said that, well, I didn't do nothing. I know Malaya didn't do nothing. Well, it doesn't matter if you guys did anything. That's the problem. You didn't do anything and the kids went missing.
That is the problem.
And we have 18 hours playing with.
Yeah.
Still going by, like, even if you used the 8:30 last time seen statement from the dispatch audio, that information comes from the parents. So they have 18 hours, like, and that's the problem. And for people to say, and yes, I can say and agree with you when you're, and I know that you're probably saying as far as family goes, but some people and some creators make a blanket statement that the only one out there searching is Belinda. Well, I think we have about 7 or 8 signs left now out of an order of 55. That's how far we're down. This week, there's been 15 new signs out.
Nice.
And if I believe that everyone that puts a sign out or a poster up is somebody that is looking for answers for this. And I say that most of us are strangers because definitely there is some extended family members that have taken signs as well. But
which is
It
good.
just seems like the strangers are looking more for answers.
Yeah.
And Jack and Lily than
Well, that's the truth of
the
it.
biological mother and a stepfather are.
Yeah. Yeah. I can just to ask you quickly, are we going to talk about that property or no? You know, the one I'm talking about, or is that something that we didn't want to talk about?
Well,
Or is
it's speculation, but I think we have to talk about it
or go
in that
ahead.
sense.
Sure, let's talk about it.
Like lots of people know that Earl has 100-acre woodlot located in Lower Bernies River, which is about a 40 to 45-minute drive away from the property. Mike DeMann and I believe Daphne as well have both showed pictures of the property lot. It looks like to be surrounded by other properties and doesn't have a road access right away into the property, but I'd like to know if it does. And if it does, that would be one of my areas. If it has access to the road, wherever that is, that would be a starting point for me for the dogs. Right? And that would make it far enough away from the property for sure that the HRD dogs aren't necessarily going to smell on the immediate property, but like it's been pointed out to me, if the kids are only unconscious and taken away, then the HRD won't alert anywheres on the property until you get to the point where their heart stops. And that process that they detect, the decomposition, would possibly give an alert.
Mhm. Well, absolutely. I really hope that, you know, I really do hope that they check that property for sure.
Yep. Another one that's a speculation that everybody has brought up, which I think that they would alert, or not necessarily would alert on, but they would want to search, I think would be the mill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. The sawmill? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you want to believe psychics, more than one psychic mentioned the former theme park. Well, there's one not too far away. Part of it has reopened, and well, they're closed now again for the season, unless it's private booking, the go-kart track. But like I say, more than one person, if you believe in psychics, has mentioned that. So that might be an area. The power line corridor through there might be an area because it has access, it's the same type of thing as the pipeline, goes for miles on miles, and the only difference between it and the pipeline area is the pipeline is underground, the power lines are transmission lines above ground. That's been mentioned by several people. So in my own mind, I can see all those areas being searched or taking the dogs to alert. And then you get in the vehicles. And I'd say there's probably 10 vehicles that you want to take the dogs around. And this isn't an accusation towards Malaya, But Malaya's would be the first vehicle that I'd want to check because
Absolutely.
that's the most likely one that anybody used to take them off the property.
Did you slip?
No.
You said he.
Uh,
He changed.
well, I suspect if they were taken off the property, I do believe it would be Daniel. I can't see Malaya carrying 2 kids off.
Well, I don't
So,
know.
yeah.
I mean, you got to give us women some credit, man. We give birth to basketballs, basically, eh?
Yeah, but
So,
that's when they're a pound and a half, or 6.5 or 7 pounds, not 100 pounds combined. I'd like to see you squeeze out 100-pounder
we got it.
chicken.
Yeah, KFC bucket of chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, hey, quickly, Kent, going over to this. So, you guys, back many months ago, well, right near when I was talking with Belinda, I would say within the first month. This was on May 3rd. Now, I noticed his pictures going around about that. You know what? So I'm just gonna admit to this because so this picture was in, the ones that Belinda had sent me, right? And it was at the very end of all Malaya's messages on there. And when I looked at it, I honestly always thought it was just something to do with a search group or something, and it was I never took it until I read it actually kind of now. It says 10 a.m. This is May 3rd, guys. Date is on top of this thing here. Just sent a text. Just got a text from a member on the scene of the children's search. The police dog handler has located a very distinctive set of youth footprints on the natural gas. And as you can see, one is barefoot, and then there's 2 other ones on there. And so I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I was like, why is this picture out there that they're showing that we've seen from months ago? But
But this isn't a picture. This is a depiction of what the picture looked like.
Right. Well, yes, obviously, right? But I just
Right.
mean, when I saw it, I just always assumed it was just,
A bunch of
like
footsteps.
just a bunch of footsteps. I never actually read the actual wording on it. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I did, but I don't remember. But I just took it for, yeah, like I didn't take it like a photo or a depiction of footsteps. I just
Yeah.
kind of I just took it as basically someone posting about footsteps or the footprints, and they just kind of, added some footsteps to it type of idea.
Yeah. And
but
I believe from that photo or depiction, I believe, like I say, the right hand ones are the impression makes it look like that was a barefoot. The middle ones is all in my eyes. As soon as I seen it, it popped up as if that's the kids' rubber boots. So I suspect that that's the one where they were able to take the impression and then compare it to Malaya's financial records. Found out that she bought it at Walmart in March.
Right, 13.
Then was able to trade. Well, she thought it was size 11 or 10 to 13, but it was actually a size 11.
Yeah,
it has a number 29 on the bottom of it, and they were actually able to go to Walmart, purchase the same style boot, and find that it had the same size number 29 coordinating with a size 11 child's boot in it. Now, the one on the left, is it of another child or is it of a small adult? We do know that there was children from the family out with the search party. So is it that? Is it connected to the case? Is it eliminated from the case?
Yeah.
And like I say, this isn't old, but this is what people seem to have picked up and run with this week because they're just seeing it now for one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, how many of you guys here actually think that these are Jack and one if you do, two if you don't? How many of you people actually think that regardless the footprints on the pipeline are Jack and Lily's?
Can before they do that,
Mm.
can we because we have reference that it's related to Lily, but do we want to say it's
Wow.
connected to the case, or could it be from before?
And no, it's not going to be from before. Let's just
So
keep
you
it
don't
simple.
think the kids were ever in that area before they were gone just missing or gone missing?
Before? Nah.
Yeah.
No. They'd only lived at that place a couple of years. Honestly, do you think that they went on these little hiatuses? Malaya could barely get out of the house, let alone,
But
no.
it doesn't mean that they were put there with Malaya.
Well, I just don't.
They could have been with Daniel. I'm just saying,
Do I think it has
is it
anything
more
to do
apt
with
that they got there before or after they went missing, is what I'm saying.
I honestly don't think that they have anything to do with the case.
Okay, that's what I was wanting to clarify, because just to say that they're Jack and Lily's.
Well, let me put it this way. Hold on a second. So obviously there was a boot that was size 13, whereas or 11. Eh? Oh, that's your mom. Okay, right. So I do have a little issue. How does a mother can't remember what size of a freaking ass boot she buys her daughter? Like, I could never not know what size I've bought for my child. Like, there's not a point in my life that I would have ever said, yeah, I think he's a 13 when he's really 11, first and foremost. However, there was a 29. Could it be coincidence? Who knows? Whatever. I mean, that blanket planted, absolutely. Come on now. I think Daniel from Drunk Turkey Show said it was 6 feet in the air. So that'd be about my husband's side. Okay, so it wasn't high, but it was 6 feet. Planted blanket? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, there's even lines around the whole blanket, Yeah, but Johnny, that's just it, right? Moms are different. That's why Malaya knew the blanket, but Daniel lied about the blanket, right? Because Daniel, Daniel. Oh, Daniel, what a web you weave when you first practice to deceive, right? Like I said, regardless of anything, dude, you couldn't tell the truth if it hit you in the freaking butt at all. You don't know how to tell the truth. You're so full of your own stuff all the time, right? It's clear as day that this man just talks about how great he is, how much he's done for Jack and Lily, how much Malaya is pretty much a useless tit that freaking sat on the bed on her phone all day while he did everything. Like, at what point are we not still always hearing about how amazing Daniel is? He's just so awesome. That guy that holds Malaya down while she's trying to call her mom because she wants to leave his ass. That person. Right? The person that's claiming that Malaya is the abusive one and there's never been any violence. Like, seriously, guys. Honestly. So, if Daniel is pretty much just a known liar, how do you believe anything that comes out of his mouth? I can't find the stupidity in me to sit there and go, you know what? You're right. I believe you had nothing to do with Jack and Lily whatsoever, because you're just an amazing human being that always tells the truth. You keep telling us how much you tell the truth, but you're the one that's making yourself look guilty by your own accord, right? So even if you had nothing to do with it, the way you present yourself and your ego, just the amazing person you keep claiming you are, and that you're the only one that's searching. You're the only one that, seriously, I'm sorry. Like I said, I didn't fall off a turnip truck, guys, at all, right? When people aren't telling the truth, it's because they have something to hide. It's that simple. It's just a matter of where the truth lies, where Jack and Lily are. What happened to Jack and Lily? I don't believe for 1 second that Malaya has these children hidden somewhere. Are you kidding? So Darren actually said, right? When I went back and was listening to Darren on lives the other day, Darren says basically sold himself to the devil, right? To get some information. Of course, Darren has this whole reserve, thing going on and stuff like that, right? Daniel, what's your story? Because Janie doesn't believe they're on a reservation and stuff like that. It's like, what's Daniel's story? What's his belief? Where does he believe that Malaya has hidden these children? But wait, I know that he has nothing to do with it, right? All we have to do is go back to that video, that he has nothing to do with it, and Malaya has nothing to do with it. But everything he's telling us, right? Everything he's saying is Malaya did it. Malaya and her family on all this. So again, you try to sit there and you put it all together, so there's part of you that goes, well, maybe they sold them because their butts were poor ass and they were broke. Maybe they found the children annoying and maybe they wanted to reap some money off of them, behind the scenes. Not like, here, let me just go deposit, $50K into my bank or something like that, But again, the digital data, no one's coming forward, all that stuff. It is so unlikely. Like, he is pushing this narrative. And that's why, to me, on the news there, right? Now he's just amping up his game, right? He's just trying to amp it up, And yeah, again, Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show, if he wants to kind of, in a sense, have his own thoughts and whatever, absolutely. If Daniel and Janie and Darren want to pipe up in that channel because it's their safe place, absolutely, right? We all run our channels whichever way, but to me, honestly, I haven't even watched any of those lives. No, that's not true. I watched about 5 minutes, right? Because to be honest, for the most part, I really just don't care what Daniel and Janie have to say. Right? I don't believe that they wandered off or were scared off, and stuff like that. But of course, I respect Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show, even if I don't agree with him, just like he is obviously probably not agreeing with me. But again, I don't care. I still don't care. I've watched 5 months of this man BS us and play games. So I'm just not into their freaking word salad shit anymore, or adding things to the case now that they can somehow go, well, the documents, right? Now I can justify why, oh yeah, Wade said, so now I can tell you why that Lily's jacket and shirt were on the thing and stuff like that. Sorry. Again, I just want answers for Jack and Lily, right? But my point is that still, when 2 children are missing, why is this happening? Why is there lies going on? Why is there mistruths? Why? We all know the answer. The answer is because the truth is being hidden. The truth is not being told. These polygraph people, you guys need to get your asses back over there. You guys need to do your second ass round, and you need to ask a lot more questions than what you've done. Because I guarantee you guys that some people in the family know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily, and all this hiding shit, right? Malaya, all this hiding crap and, stuff like that. And Daniel, all your BS and stuff like that. Again, why do you need to lie if you're telling the truth? Daniel constantly says that. Well, I'm just telling the truth. Well, I can tell you, how many lies can I, or mistruths can I say? I can just keep going on. So that's my thing, right? Are we going to hear the truth out of Daniel regardless? Nope. The only people that are going to find the true answers because of all this BS going on is RCMP. Simple as that, right? So unless someone comes forward and says, no, actually, we want them to, whoever to come forward to go to the RCMP, right? If there's any sort of criminality that becomes this, it's not that there's not still a chance of criminality. Of course, you guys know how to read between the lines of what was said. The option is still there. But they were saying that, at the moment that, like, well, what did they say, Kent? That this leads us to this is where the investigation is led us to. I still think it's the biggest crock of crap that these cadaver dogs are coming in 5 months later. But I guess we're just freaking poor ass Canadians that don't know how to freaking, or don't have a population for these cadaver dogs and trainers, because I find it so absurd. But I guess if you're trying to save your resources, I don't get it. Cadaver dogs should be first on the scene, not these freaking air centers. 20 people sent in the air. No wonder they probably didn't pick up shit, to be honest with you. I don't know. That was my vent.
Well, like I say, I think that they should have been scent specific. Like, that's the dogs that I think should be first on site. Is like Jane. Get a sample of the scent from the missing people.
Yeah.
And then try to track that.
Right.
And if they track that to the end of the driveway and nowhere's else, then that gives you a possible direction. But we also know that they walk that spot in the driveway every day to go back and forth to school. So that's why their scent could be there and not anywhere else. If they were unconscious and carried off the property, that would be where their scent would be and nowhere's else. And the cadaver dogs ain't going to help that because
right,
of their process.
Well, let's just pray that answers come for Jack and Lily soon. Okay? Regardless of what the situation is, who's responsible or not responsible, but again, Daniel, your bullshit, it just oozes out of your mouth, probably out of your ass as well, to be honest with you. And I just don't have the time of day for all the stuff that they're trying to do now for inserting. Just tell the darn truth, right?
Well, that helps too from the beginning, right?
From the beginning.
If we're given the truth, then the RCMP will get put in the right direction rather than that they're told that they're in the woods and we send 125 people in the woods for 6 days.
Thank you. Because that's what I lost track of what I was going to say earlier, so I'm going to go back onto it. So Darren Geddes, Darren, how does your garden grow, Darren? Now, Darren said that he knows exactly where the kids are, and he knows that there's a person that's not out there, that's not really out there, that knows everything, right? So if Daniel believes that Malaya has him and all the family, why the hell weren't they found by RCMP at any point in time in 5 months? That she's so great at hiding these kids. It's ridiculous to me, okay? It is absolutely ridiculous to me. Now, I know other people have different opinions, and that's perfectly fine, right? We all want answers. Oh, I came through your thing there. But honestly, so Daniel said he wanted other people polygraphed. Well, first of all, we need to go back to you guys again, right? Hey, Janie, Janie needs to take a chill pill and take one of these tests. She needs to take one of those. I want to hear what Janie has to say because she's the last one that heard these children. Apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, Sonny, people, the signs are going. If anybody wants or needs one or the PDF to print one in your location, get a hold of me. I got to run here. I got to go start making homemade pizza for supper. So
your food's more important. I get it. Okay,
yeah.
Fine. I get it.
Alrighty, folks. See you later.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to head off in a minute here myself, though. But yeah, so I was listening to, like, said what Darren was talking about, right? And everything, again, it was Malaya, information from Daniel that Malaya was at the end of the driveway, that Janie all but was probably 30 seconds away of missing, them put in the car. Okay, that timeline for that is shot. If you guys And that's actually because of Janie's timeline, to be honest with you. If Daniel and Malia and Janie's timeline wasn't in there, right, that was a more plausibility perhaps then, because they obviously said from 8 o'clock, right? And so if Janie didn't put her timeline in there of after 9 o'clock, that's why that whole cockamamie stuff it just isn't okay. And so yeah, so again, Darren says he's talked to a couple people, and that they know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily. Great. Months ago, you said that months ago. Where are they? Thanks, Zach. You two, you guys go check out Zach's channel. What's it called? Remote viewer. Zach does remote viewing on Jack and Lily. Well, other cases too, but Jack and Lily. So go check them out. Go subscribe. You're a really good person, Zach. I can see that in you. You have a heart of gold. And again, bottom line is still, right? Regardless of anything, what happened to Jack and Lily? This is ridiculous now. Please, please bring closure to Jack and Lily, no matter which is the way. The best way, obviously, we want to see them found alive. Obviously. Is it realistic? Not in my eyes, really. It's a very nominal chance that these children are alive. But anyways, you guys, might do another live tonight, might not. I'm going to have to see. Anyways, it was great seeing you guys. Thanks again, to, again, everyone that was with that article. I really appreciate your guys' love and support of this channel, and for the true crime community, to know that we can make a difference, to know that we can be voices, to know that family members, when used right, can be voices, for the missing and the murdered and stuff like that. Anyways, you guys, prayers to you guys. Prayers to Jack and Lily first and foremost. We just want answers. And Zach, so you're gonna chop. Expecting to see another video tonight, there, buddy. Just kidding. No pressure. Whenever you're ready, like tomorrow, or like yesterday. There's only two options. I agree. Great to see you guys as well on there. Thank you, Cheryl Light, for becoming a new member on YouTube. I appreciate that. And with that being said, how about we'll play that little song on the way out. I know, don't bug me about it. I know. If I don't forget things, I don't. Well, I did forget something the other day. Totally forgot. I told a friend I was going to do something. Been a busy week with my sister moving. Totally forgot. I remember going today going, oh, shit. Hate that. Video file. Yeah. So just remember what we're doing, of course, and who this is for, Jack and Lily. Please hit that like and share button. Now, why isn't it all files? No, I don't want all files. I want videos. Hold on. Oh, for some reason, my maybe I have to go look at my C drive. Maybe it's like loaded up, because all my things are like, normally I look at my thumbnails and they're all white pretty much. Video file. So now I can't see which one's which. Video files. What's this one? Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay.
In the woods where shadows lay, Jack and Lily went to play. On a rainy May afternoon, now we whisper home soft too. Echoes of laughter fill the air. but where are they?
Thanks, Pat.
We stand in prayer. Oh, Jack and Lily, where have you gone? We'll hold on tight through this endless dawn. In our hearts forever you'll stay. With every prayer we send your way. Hundreds gathered, hearts so strong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the reason why I didn't end the live quite yet is because I did want to give still a big shout out to Allie Thompson. To Allie Thompson. I think I put a P in that when I said that. So Allie Thompson from CBC, Nova Scotia, again for the article, and to Belinda, and of course, and Chelsea, and the people that are really truly hurting and have spent almost 5 months sitting here being voices for Jack and Lily. And it's just it's really hard to watch what we do see. And then we see that, right, that they just want answers. 5 months. Imagine that. It's crazy. Anyways, so thanks again for everyone for your love and support of the channel and stuff like that. Totally appreciate it. So see you guys later. Oh, Janzi. Janzi didn't want me to go. Okay. Pat Wicks, you were the first person to receive that membership. Betty Knight, Lee, and Dee, and Lucid Dreams were gifted memberships by Janzi. Okay, Janzi. I got it. Janzi didn't want me to end the live yet. She wants to hear the Rick rolls go off. Very much appreciated. Make sure you thank Janzi if you're watching right now. I always love memberships because it's like paying it forward. It does support the channel, obviously, but it gives somebody else the benefit of looking at maybe past lives or members and stuff like that using the emojis. They don't have to deal with any of the, when I have to put on the slow time and stuff like that. And so thank you, Janzi. Mind you, Janzi, if you took the Z out of your name, what does that spell? Does that spell Janzi? Yeah, that was really sweet. I know, right? Janzi Janie, if we take that Z out. It's so funny though when people try to say her name. She gets called Jeannie, Janine, whatever. I mean, I've heard her name. I never thought it was a hard name to pronounce, to be honest with you. Well, you guys know I'm going to desert you after I hear 2 more Rick rolls, right? I am probably getting hungry myself. It's 10:21. Do you know where your breakfast is? If you're on the Pacific Coast, still early bird. Not sure they are either, Sunny. Something feels off. Something is very off. Let you down. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Sarah. Maybe it's Sarah. Maybe it's Sarah. But Reverend Robin Newton, I'm not sure. Something is definitely off. Okay. Right. If it smells like shit, you can taste it if it tastes. It's definitely off. Yeah. No. I'm just, to me, it's like, nah. Gut instinct, always, you go with your start, Well, I should say the start, because at the start, I actually was believing Daniel at the start on there. Hi, Daddy knows best. Daddy knows best. Perhaps. Okay. Daddy knows best, but Mommy knows better. Yeah. I think that was the last one of those. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for those memberships gifted. Always nice seeing that, you guys. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining me. If you haven't hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do so. And again, you guys have a good one. I might see it tonight. I'm not sure. Just depends. Okay, guys? And, oh, Kent thinks that I actually read private. At 8:32 a.m., he was raising his hand in the private part of this. Okay, bye, guys. I'm just going to play out the other intro. Haven't played that one in a while, to be honest with you. Ready? Are you ready? All right.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone. Within my reverie, there's holy light. Without an honor, we stand and fight. And